Hi, I'm Joey, and my dog chewed my toque. Okay, so it's snowed a little bit more in Wells than I expected it to snow today. That's cool. Snows here sometimes. That's what happens in life at 4,000 feet up at 53 degrees north in the Caribbean Mountains. Yes. But I'm looking forward to this weekend because we got new storms coming, and I got all the details for you here that I have at least. And, well, that majority of that atmospheric horse shit that we just had is moving on down southern towards California and whatnot. They're getting kind of more of the brunt of it today. So, let's go! Sketched out. Big moose. Getting angrier. Now, we jump off the roof. There she goes. You never know what can happen. Things are going on, you know. Here she comes. That was pretty close. This pale blue dot is planet Earth. Every cute puppy you ever wanted to snuggle with lives right here. So as you can see, this is humidex values right now. This being a ribbon of moisture that was more or less giving BC all these problems, and it's kind of moving up as opposed to up the coast this way like we've been seeing. Now it's moving up the coast this way. So, northwest Pacific United States is getting some rainy weather and whatnot like that. There is in BC right now some warnings for rainfall down in this area. Snowfall warning. 15 centimeters expected before the snow tapers off on Thursday. Could make highways, roads, and parking lots crappy. So that's everywhere east of Golden. You head down into, the southern part of BC, Elk Valley, Fernie, Highway 3. 20 to 40 millimeters of rain still expected there. And if you're not getting a warning, doesn't mean you won't see some rain and snow. It's snowing right now in Wells, and I don't think I fully expected that. 20 to 40 millimeters down there. And on the Alberta side, winter storm watch in Cardston, so 5 centimeters possible. Snowfall amounts may exceed 30 centimeters by Friday morning. So, it's gonna give her down there. I mean, shockingly high pressure was supposed to develop here in BC today, but no, what's going on is we're getting a lot of precipitation along the snow. So I don't know. Modeling seems to be a little hit and miss. Some of these swing days, sometimes we don't know exactly what's going to be happening, but we do know that we got this big storm coming out. BC still in line for some of that precipitation, moisture, snowfall. That just gives us kind of a sort of look as to where that atmospheric river is still heading. I mean, it's obviously lost its power. It's not quite what it was. I've had some real fun. The moderators and I, if you come on to Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, our group on Facebook, we got 60.7 thousand people. We don't need individuals. We need we need lots of people, but we don't need people who come with the wrong idea. So the thing is, okay, let me get this straight. The thing is, we used to call it the Pineapple Express, but the Pineapple Express was a term that really applied from Hawaii to BC. Now, anywhere in the world, the same weather behavior can happen. It would not be a Pineapple Express. So we call that an atmospheric river. And if you don't like it and you want to argue it and you want to troll and you want to come on our group, we will fucking boot you out. Because I'm not going to have good weather people give their time, like Brandon Haug, for example, to the group to share news and information and help people understand what's happening, to have ignorant people who've never tried to learn for real fighting them and wasting their time. So we did have avalanche threat really high in Vancouver Island. That's obviously tapered down. What happened? All the rain kind of squished everything down. It's melted it off maybe even. But if you're looking down into that southern travel is not recommended down there. All through the Trail Nelson area, really high, very dangerous conditions right now. Conservative terrain travel recommended. Riders could trigger avalanches. The weather is triggering natural avalanches. So this is more or less what we're looking at in the Rocky Mountains. Over Banff, avalanche cycles happening, heavy wet snow overlaying general weak pack. Ice climbers should be picking routes with no overhead hazards. That would be nice. So up and down into that southeastern part of BC, that natural avalanche cycle is occurring. And other places, the danger is still considerable. It's there. Here, I mean, a little bit more. Early season obstacles are also lurking right below the surface. Don't go flying around Yanks Peak at 100 miles an hour right yet, because you might just smash into a rock and totally fuck your sled right up. I mean, go ahead, do that. I don't care. Freezing levels slowly lowering in the southeast. The frontal system will move through the southeastern part of BC today and tomorrow. Freezing levels gradually dropping behind the cold front. The cold front will be stubborn to leave and will give more snow near Fernie till Thursday. So snow is hanging on a little longer than we thought. The major story coming is Saturday. And again, you can see that tail of that atmospheric avalanche, atmospheric river. And we look at, sort of a clearing trend for Wednesday, Thursday, mostly. I mean, it's not clearing here, but, that's the idea. And here comes that next big storm by the weekend. And boof, look out. Saturday, bam, taking it on the chin again, BC, and then into Washington State especially. They're going to really hit the brunt of that one, I think. But we will get it. And here on satellite, we see currently, so there's our long ribbon of moisture that's all the way from the tropics up, still there, although not quite in the same. But all along that U.S. seaboard, man, it is pretty unhappy weather, and that goes right up into southern BC. So we see that rain and then snow possibility. I'm hiccuping again in the middle of nowhere. Sorry about the hiccups. Is our next story 994 low. So it seems pretty good low. This guy out in the Atlantic, crazy. Certainly if you live in Greenland, it'll probably blow your glaciers over to Canada. That's going on there. So 994, it's not crazy deep. It might dig in a little bit in a couple days. But when you compare to that, what's going on here in, look at this down here in Antarctica, 938 low. That is an angry little storm. And 70K sustained. But we're looking at well over 100 km/h gusts down there in that storm. That's actually weakened since last night some. So, wow, that's quite the event happening in Antarctica. Which is, I just don't go there. It's not for me. Now, here's our next big storm coming at BC. All right, so we got all these guys. All these guys want to come. That's what they want to do. So Wednesday, see them kind of gathering themselves out there. And, let's have a look at that snowfall that was happening in this part of BC. So, yeah, tonight, snowfall. That rain might change to snow. So, I expect some pretty slippery, could be some pockets of freezing rain down there. Looks like that area between trail doesn't look too great. Alberta really looking, and into Saskatchewan at the possibility of big snow, but also freezing rain. That winter storm that's forecast down there for Cardston. You can really see why that forecast is like that. Here's our next big storm. It's deepened a little, 990. Central low pressure, definitely not ear poppers. And we did, we're higher pressure catching us, a little bit of a ridge there into BC on Thursday, Friday, but it's not to last long, and it's still not going to be as free of snowfall as maybe I expected Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to be. I was expecting a little bit more clearer days, but I mean, for the most part, everyone's going to have fairly nice weather, fairly stable weather those days, just some lingering flurries. So here's that next low, and on the ECMWF modeling, it has it kind of, doing what the lows like to do. Heading up to that Alaska Panhandle. And again, a nice ribbon behind it. Is this an atmospheric river coming again? I would suggest it's possible. Yeah, looks like it. That low deepens a little bit as it hits the coast. And Saturday morning we see big winds, heavy rains on the coast, snowfall moving into BC. Where you live will depend on how much of it you see. 983. So it bottomed out at 983, and then by the time it hits the coast, it starts to lose its anger a little bit. Over in Ontario, crappy weekend for you. Northern Ontario, crappy weekend. Southern Alberta, that corner there, Rocky Mountains, snowfall. Quebec, getting lots of rain and snow in the north. Freezing rain possibility. That low moving through up there. So that's kind of the bigger picture heading into the weekend. Storm doesn't last very long, it doesn't seem like. That North Pacific High wants to throw a ridge in for us temporarily. Again, doesn't seem to be. We've kind of been lucky, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, we haven't fully taken one of these events on the chin. And into next week, some high pressure for a few days. Northern BC getting some snow. Western BC. By Wednesday, maybe a few flurries in the province. But high, mostly fairly nice weather. I think next week is kind of the idea. We'll see how that remains. So if we get through this weekend a storm, we might get a small break. A small break. We're looking at new snowfall for the next 3 days, and we see like that whole Revelstoke area down through anywhere in the mountains. Basically, you got a nice swath from Red Deer, Lloydminster to Prince Albert out to Grand Rapids, which is Manitoba. Everywhere north of Dauphin, maybe seeing a little bit of that snow this next few days. It's the next 5 days when we see that next storm coming in, and we'll just hit 10 days to get a good view of it. But again, mostly low interior places, looking like you're probably not going to see a lot of it. Kamloops, people are complaining because it's dry there, and fire season is not that far away already. Down there in Washington, in the mountains, definitely going to see some big snowfall totals there over the next 10 days. 65 centimeters. I mean, for the mountains, that's not crazy. This might be crazy. 455 centimeters. That's all up there, and there is a place in BC getting 239 centimeters. So there you go. If you're up by Telegraph Creek in the mountains, well, there's definitely snow falling up there. Let's have a look at the rain accumulation. And still along that coast, quite a bit of rain. And some of you in the interior are going to see those mixes between rain and snow because we just aren't getting fully a real dive into winter. Like Friday, we're more or less hovering around 0 in the afternoon, kind of chilling out. Minus 19s in the evening in some places, but no, most of that extreme cold air isn't really sticking around and giving us much problems. So, and we see sort of return to Chinooki conditions once that storm moves through. Look how cold it is everywhere else. We're having an El Nino winter, and it's very concerning. See Chinooks. Yeah, okay. That's enough. So yeah, get through this next bunch of days, and we'll see what next week brings. It could be a little nicer. So if you have travel plans this weekend, be smart. And if you plan around the mountains, be smart. Okay, bye now. Oops, I meant to say, please subscribe, hit like, share, tell a friend. I want to be your weatherman. Bye now.